Wide open plains with a sting in the tail on stage 16 of La Vuelta. Well, before the rest day, it was this man, Arensman, delighted to have taken a stage win. Likewise his DSM team, our glorious leader, still Remco Evenepoel, albeit by a reduced margin after ranging attacks from Primož Roglič over the previous 2 days. How would today shape up? Well, it was one of those where a breakaway was expected to dominate, and it almost felt like an extension to a rest day for much of the peloton. But a party atmosphere extended to the riders themselves. They were in a good mood, as well they might be. Remco Evenepoel leading this race, and the points jersey firmly upon the shoulders of Mads Pedersen. So what lay ahead? Well, an apparently flat day hid a sting in the tail. The course shaped like a head, coming over the back, and indeed finishing with some very testy ramps after the intermediate sprint. Ramps of 8.3% extending over 600 metres lay ahead. Also a very long day in the saddle, particularly for the breakaway. Just 2 up front. Okamica of Burgos BH and Luis Angel Mate in the orange of Euskaltel Euskadi, he pledging to plant a tree for every kilometre he was in the break, and today that was a lot of trees. Shooting the breeze, much of the peloton to be honest. They knowing that 2 riders up the road was no threat, and that this ultimately would surely be one for the sprinters. We would see. The intermediate sprint itself duly came and went, and was feistily fought for, with Mate taking it ahead of Okamica. The remaining points hoovered up by who else other than Mads Pedersen. Well, that sting in the tail was to turn this into a hard man's day, be that from the GC or indeed from those sprinters who could take an incline at the end. And boy oh boy did we have some drama. The pace picked up, the breakaway absorbed, and first to falter, Caden Groves with a puncture. At the end of his ambitions, plenty being shown by Primož Roglič. He instigated the move of the afternoon. Straight onto his wheel, while Pascal Ackermann was being guided. He now turning himself into a ramp finisher, it seemed. Roglič went, Ackermann on his tail, and of course Mads Pedersen not that far behind in the green jersey. Fred Wright was also coming to join the fun. No fun at all for this man, the leader, Remco Evenepoel, puncturing within the last 3 kilometres his fortune. Oh, fortune favours the brave, and sometimes it hampers the brave as well. 5 came to the line, including Danny van Poppel and all the aforementioned riders. Primož Roglič then just had to tuck in for his advantage, but the rising knee of Fred Wright caught his bars and down he went. Roglič on the deck would be credited with the same time as those he was sharing the sprint with. Pedersen took it, but Roglič, battered and bruised, picked himself back up off the asphalt and crawled across the line. Well, at what cost later in this race, we asked ourselves. Roglič looking very second-hand. Evenepoel with that fortunate puncture late on crossed the line to be credited with the same time as the main body of the peloton. The gap between the pair of them then, modest changes overall. But what changes to Primož Roglič for the next few days in the run to Madrid? Our hope is that he recovers well. Congratulations to Mads Pedersen for taking his 2nd stage win. That green jersey all but belonging to him. What a dramatic finale. And what a change overall. Is this the end of the Roglič challenge? We hope not. Evenepoel looked fresh and untroubled by his own problems late on. He leads the race, albeit by a reduced margin, but not by much. 1 minute and 26 is the gap, as we continue our run towards Madrid. So what of stage 17? Tentudia awaiting, a looping course, a monastery at the end, upon a mount. A Category 2 test at the end, and a day that looks certain to garner a big breakaway with ambition. The road to Madrid is a rough one.